powerfully. This hybrid online community offers monthly webinars, meetups, and coaching sessions so that you have access to replenish online. Whether you are seeking something as an individual to relieve your stress or as an organization, a way to resolve team issues and recharge your staff, Replenish Me membership offers it all. Empower yourself today. To find out more about Replenish Me membership, go to bit.ly/Replenish Me membership. And now for the Free to Be show. Hello and welcome to the Free to Be show, and Happy New Year. This is like the first show of the year, so I'm super excited today to have a live version of the Free to Be show to start the year off, and with such an amazing, wonderful, warm person speaking about my favorite topic, which is how to create your sanctuary. So today, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce you to Andrea Sanchez, who I met through Humans First, which is Humans First Club, and we just connected. I want to say it must have been like in August is when we first met, right? And I was really intrigued because she had come up with this wonderful concept of a monthly worthy online rally for hope and kindness. And I think I've shared the link before, but I'll definitely share it in the chat so people can join, because she's continuing that on. So I would just say that this is a beautiful sanctuary of diversity, equity, belonging, and inclusion that she's created. So welcome to the show, Andrea.
Thank you so much, Cordelia. It's such an honor, pleasure to be here. Big fan of your work and everything that you're doing to make a difference in this world.
Oh, thank you. I'm a big fan of you too. So I actually attended your rally, the final one for 2020 in December. And I just, on the Free to Be show, we want to know, what is it that you had to do to free yourself to show up in this way and offer this?
That is such a great question. Really, being free is a work in progress for me. But I think within the past year, specifically 2020, it was a true visionary year in that it enabled me to let go of thoughts and of things that were getting in my way of thinking clearly of what I thought were priorities were really diversions or obstacles. And when all those things were taken away, I really began to see things in a different way and see opportunities in carrying my energy to helping others. My passion has always been helping others, and building communities to make sure others have the courage to express themselves and express their voice. And during a time of of course, this whole COVID happened, and then a lot of in the United States, a lot of injustice and racial tension was happening as well at the same time. And I saw everyone focus so much on negativity. And yes, lots of things were happening, lots of challenging times. It wasn't the best of times, but I myself had this urge. I woke up one day and had this urge that, Andrea, you've been thinking about doing something for a very long time, and June 27th is the day that you have to do it. I had no idea
Wow.
what I was going to be doing, but that just popped in my mind. Like, it was, I woke up and that date popped in my mind. So I automatically saw on my calendar, it was a Saturday. Like, okay, great. And the weekend is works perfectly. And I said, okay, what for an event, something inspired me to look for at least 5 speakers. And the way I wanted to do it is not just call them speakers, but storytellers. I wanted real people to come in and just share stories of hope, kindness, and inspiration. Because what was really bothering me was people's focus towards hatred and survival and just really putting others down in order to make sure that they were heightened up, and that was not right for me. And I saw all these rallies going on of fighting against things, and I'm just like, I want to do a rally that's supporting each other and really rallying for kindness even during these rough times. There's got to be a spark, there's got to be hope. So I thought hope and kindness. So that's what my event is going to be, a rally for hope and kindness. So I got some storytellers to just share stories of hope and kindness. I didn't know where it was going to take, where how it was going to evolve. I invited everyone and anyone I could to the rally, and it's all online via Zoom. So Saturday for 2 hours on that June 27th, this amazing energy unfolded that gave each other the courage to be free themselves. And
Mm.
and when one person told the story of vulnerability, it opened up another one to tell the story. Oh, I can relate to you, so I have the freedom to be me as well. And the funny thing is, during this whole time, I was struggling to come up and do something for the world or do something in an event to inspire others. And while I was doing that, I felt a sense of freedom myself, that
Mm.
by offering this help toward others, I was in fact helping myself to open up and realizing that this is the community that I needed to be able to also have the courage to tell my story and own who I am.
That is such a powerful story. I love it. You saw all the rallies, but you wanted to have something that had meaning and depth and humanness. And it was not just a, a sanctuary for your community, but it was a sanctuary for you. I want to just really quickly say good morning to Ola.
Good
Thank you for
morning.
joining us, and LinkedIn user.
Good morning.
um, Good morning. You and I, leading up to us having this conversation today, talked about my definition of sanctuary. So I'm going to share that to the best of my ability. I don't exactly remember the words, but for me, I like to use the sanctuary as it's a place inside of a person that where they have all their love, and they are can be very centered, and they feel loved, so much so that they have extra to radiate out into the world. And so I feel like your rally, you made like the physical version of that, a place of love, hope, and kindness, so that the people that came, they could radiate out more love, hope, and kindness to the world. Does that sound accurate?
That's you described it beautifully. That is exactly what I always intended to do, and the fact that you picked up on that means a lot. And I just love, like I said before when we spoke, I love your definition of sanctuary. It really radiates that love, that peace. But for me, it radiates also breath, like you being
Mm,
able to breathe
yeah.
finally, and not having to put on this mask or be in this box. So I love it.
Got to bring out the
Oh,
mask.
there you go.
I do it like all the time. Anytime we talk about mask, right? Because we had to get rid of that, um, to allow ourselves to be sanctuaries for each other. So let's talk about the inner workings. What happened? I attended personally, but you said it was different than all the other ones. I would like to know, how can people, you know, can continue to create a sanctuary, if they want to do that in their communities? How can they follow your example?
I think really, at least from my experience, is I was so hard on myself to come up with the perfect way of either an event or a book or the perfect podcast or a video. I've tried so many ways and so many times, but it felt forced.
Mm,
And I just, you just know, like, at the time, it will come to you. Don't put so much pressure on you. If you have this passion, first and foremost, whatever that may be, tap into that, believe in that, um, ask for guidance in that, ask for support. And don't let anything or anyone deviate you from that passion or tell you how you need to express that passion, which is, people were telling me, do a video, do a podcast. And I'm like, that's just not me. But I tried it, but it's just not me. It wasn't coming out that way. So finally, um, I let my intuition guide me, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm usually a perfectionist. I'm usually like to plan everything in advance, but I got this date in my head, and look for symbols, look for hints around. I mean, the world is a magical place.
It is.
The mind is a magical place. See what comes to you and follow that. No matter if you think, even if you don't know where it's going to take you, follow that. Even if you don't have the whole picture in your head, follow it, because it will come. And that's what happened in my experience. I believed in the journey, and that's the best advice I could give you is
Mm.
believe in the journey. And even though you don't know what you're doing and it seems scary and it's outside your comfort zone, that's probably an indication that you're doing it right. And continue to trust, um, because what's meant to be will unfold, and it will create, movement and movement and movement and sparks, and you're going to spark someone else, and that person will spark someone else and else until we create a flame of just bright light and hope. So, continue to trust yourself no matter what people say you must or must not do. You know inside what you need to do, and it'll come.
Mm. So basically, I'm hearing you say, if you're scared, you're on the right path. um,
Scared in a good way, but
yes, I mean,
scared in a
like,
way that you're forced,
yeah,
like someone was, once I tried to do a podcast, and they're like, Andrea, you have to be more bubbly, you have to do this, you have to be more, and I just tried, and it was awful. It just was not me. So
yeah,
even though I was scared to do that, do scared like in a good sort of scared, like, for me, I believed in my passion and wanting to do an event forever, something forever. And finally this date came to me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I have no idea what I'm gonna do it. Nerve wracking, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it. And it eventually unfolded in the way it was supposed to unfold, and in the way that I felt it was me, not forced, being super hyperactive, extroverted
yes,
Andrea, which I'm not.
yeah, like, just be yourself. Feel free to be yourself. Feel free to lean into your intuition. I
Yeah.
love that. So there's a few more people who have joined us. Happy 2021,
Oh.
Marie. And good morning. Now, Kimberly shared something interesting. She said, if it's right if it's uncomfortable. Yeah. Um, and Shannon said, good morning. Do you know Shannon?
Yes.
Okay.
Shannon. We went to college together.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So, conceive the idea, believe its purpose, achieve worthy goal. I love that. And perfection and fear can be positive reinforcement. I love it. Now, on the other hand, we have Ola who asked this question. What about depression and anxieties? So, like, and fear and anxieties. I'm wondering, Ola, if you're referring to the people that came to her rally, if they had that, or if you, as the person who wants to offer the rally, has that. So while we're waiting, um, we have Jamie. Good morning from Las Vegas. Um, do you want to speak to the fear and anxiety piece, or do you want to just wait and get some clarification?
Either way, fear and anxiety, I can definitely relate to that 100%. I have lived actually with anxiety for most of my life, and it's just part of me. And, I've always found myself that I have something inside me that's bigger than my anxiety that continues to, I used to call it I'm a fighter, but people told me that no, you're a thriver. And that's a more
Mm.
positive way of thinking of it. So I think it's the person, you said fear means success, but what to the extent? So fear means success. So Um, when I'm talking about anxiety, is that you need, in fear, you need to think back and 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 kind of look, ask yourself, why am I fearful of this? What's the worst that can happen? What if I didn't do this? Will I regret it? And when I started thinking of the things that I may not ever do because some fear that was just
Wow.
in my head held me
Yeah.
back, I started that's when it changed for me. And like I've always dreamt of having some sort of event or putting people together and coming up with just regular people. You don't have to be like renowned speakers with tons of experience and have written tons of books to come and tell your story at my rally. I want regular everyday people to come and tell their story and have them shine so others
Yeah.
can shine. So it's, you can't let the voices in your head stop you from doing what you want to do, because guess what, tomorrow is not promised. And what if you, I mean, do you really want to live with that regret that you didn't try to fulfill that passion? So if there's something in your heart that keeps pulling at you, it won't go away. Pay attention to it, because that in itself is the weapon, that in itself is the superpower that will get you through your anxiety and your fear. And you have to trust it, just like I trusted the journey. So fear and anxiety is no match for heart and passion.
Mm. So good. Yeah. So, what are some of the results, of the heart and passion, of the storytellers, the normal people that have come?
The results.
Like, I know that some people have attended your rallies and they've, tuned into their own
Mhm.
passions. And like I said, they radiated out more love and kindness in the world. So,
Yeah, so I've heard some feedback, and at first, very much so, as any person would be when they are asked to be vulnerable. It's a scary thing, and I give per a set of guidelines for speakers, storytellers to follow. Like, give us a story about a time you were inspired, give us a story about a time that you faced a challenge and you overcame it, or that you defied the odds, or that you were the underdog and pushed through. It's completely up to them what they want to share and the level of vulnerability. um, what I find is that although all stories are very different and the levels of vulnerability are quite different, um, what I see as being vulnerable may not be seen as being vulnerable to someone else. So even if someone expresses what I feel is not is not may not be something hard that I something, if there's a topic that I find hard to express myself with, some others may not find hard to express themselves with. So it's not only a learning moment of the different comfort zones of people, and to be kind to one another, because some people may feel it tougher to say things than others. So when I people are sharing their stories, I make it a point to have everyone share either the heart symbol or use the heart emoji if you see that people are um, tearing up, or you sense that moment of vulnerability, or if you sense that you are able to relate to them as they are speaking words. And when I find that you have that constant support and showing that, oh my gosh, all these other people can also relate when I'm speaking, you're more prone to open up and continue your journey to be yourself. And when one person exhibits that, again, it's like a flame. It grows bigger and bigger. Another person has the courage to do that, and then another, and then another. And I've heard so many people say, Andrea, this was the first time I've ever shared my story with anyone, and it opened up so many possibilities for me to share my stories in other platforms. And some people say, Andrea, that I approach if they want to be a storyteller. I'm not ready to tell my story, but maybe after a whole other rallies, I will have the courage to do so. And that's completely acceptable as well. Everyone has their time. Everyone has they know inside of them when it's the right moment to share their story, because everyone was put, I believe, on this planet for a reason, and they were each programmed to have a moment that's just perfect and just right, so to tell their story, to share their purpose, that will be exactly the right time to touch that one special person.
I love that. Yeah, and I love how you're like keeping everyone with their emotions and simultaneously with each other's emotions. Very human, very, very human. And that will promote kindness. Happy New Year, Zakia. She was saying, yes, exactly. It's subjective. Yes, be kind to everyone. So, yeah. Mook was sharing some questions. I think she's in Tanzania. Good evening. The fear of criticism or our own fear, which is the worst. Okay. And then she clarifies because sometimes our own fear comes to help us to overcome the criticism.
Yeah. Yeah, our own fear. Oh, I can so relate to that. Our own fear is sort of like a defense mechanism to not have to deal with the criticism, or what I call fear of judgment, which is probably my worst enemy.
I think that's everybody's worst enemy.
So, yeah, so fear of judgment is the worst, and fear of judgment is going to try over and over and over again to stop you from doing what you're supposed to do deep in your heart, you're supposed to do, or from being yourself. So what really, I mean, I'm a work in progress. I haven't completely overcome this every single day. I fight it, but what really shifted for me is, again, am I going to regret this if I don't do it? Because really, it's me, it's my life, and it will I regret it if I don't take this step.
Yeah.
Second, um, second is when I found that my purpose is not so much and me sharing um, my passion to others, whether it be through these rallies or through my stories or a video. Um, it's not a nice to have, and it's not about me. When I reframe that and realize that my purpose is my responsibility, like I need to do this. I was given this thought or this aspiration for a reason, because someone is destined to hear it, and because someone may be depending on it to continue to live a happy life or to be a turning point in their life so they too can make a difference. When I changed that perspective around, that it's more of a responsibility and not a, okay, nice to have, wouldn't it be nice if I did this, then things started to change.
And you're right. I mean, it's more important, right? There was something bigger than your fear and anxiety, which was it's more important for people to know that there's hope and to see what it feels like to experience kindness, because I know it got a little sideways. You started it in June, so that would have been after the George Floyd killing, right? And then there were some places in lockdown, and I know that it's global, right? So the people that attend, they're from all places in the world. So yeah, that's just such a powerful thing, staying with your purpose, your vision, and your mission, and staying the course. So what are you bringing into 2021? What is it? Is it going to be the last Saturday of January, or are you looking for
Yes.
storytellers?
Oh, always, always open, looking for storytellers. Absolutely. I believe everyone has a story. You don't have to be a professional speaker. You don't have to have written a book. You don't have to have a podcast. You just have to be you. That's the perfect candidate to be a storyteller. The last Saturdays of each month, every single Saturday, last Saturday of each month, is when I hold these online rallies, completely free to everyone, um, 10 a.m. Central Time. And yeah, I'll put it on my LinkedIn profile. But that's well, we just never know what we're gonna get, but it's always a great time.
Yeah, it is a beautiful, beautiful time indeed. So we'll put the link on all the platforms. It's bit.ly/our worthy rally. And it's the capital O, capital W, capital R. And join in if you want to connect with Andrea to be a storyteller. And you're on LinkedIn, you can just connect. But if you're on Facebook, I'll put her LinkedIn profile for you to connect with her. And I really appreciate your time this morning to share with us how to create your sanctuary and by extension, a safe space for others. So I really appreciate you. And I look forward to your rallies all of 2021.
Thank you, Cordelia. And I really look forward to having you as a storyteller in 2021. And whenever
I don't meet the criteria. No, I'm just
yes,
kidding.
you do.
I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
You're overqualified, actually.
Absolutely. And Andrea, Zakia just sent you a request. I had Zakia on my podcast in December. She's absolutely lovely and amazing.
Oh, nice.
You guys will really enjoy each other. So yeah.
Beautiful. Look forward to meeting her. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure. And for all of our viewers and listeners, even if you're watching on the replay, don't hesitate to put your questions or comments or connect with Andrea. And now you have an insight of how to create your sanctuary. You don't have to do anything but tune into your tuition and allow yourself to be free to be.
I was born for this. I've been marked to be countercultural, proclaiming spirit over everything. It is a blessing to be a woman with a wild mind to expand past popular thought. I'm awakening from the cultural hypnosis and mind-controlling ideologies of the self, spirit, and what's real about life. What is the most authentic thing I can do right now? Every choice I make belongs to me and no one else. I was made on purpose. I will astonish this mean version of the world with my softness. I am a woman of outcomes.